Hi guys. Hi guys. So I wanted to do a little bit of a talk today. I'm sorry I've been a little crazy. Um this is going to apply to self-love. This is going to be a little different. Um it's in line with what everybody's saying. However, I want this talk to be about changing the trajectory of how you're viewing things. So this is a little different in the sense that what I want to talk to you guys about is in relationships, right? As women or as men, okay? How to keep in balance is what I'm talking about. So a lot of times what happens when it comes to, men and women in the relationships, or just the men and women, or relationships in general, love relationships, regardless of what they are, you always notice that there's always this moment in which someone seems to lose interest. And then it's like it starts off well, and then something goes wrong. All right, so if I'm talking about that, what I want to talk to you about more so than anything is this. If that is a pattern in your life, I want to remind you of something, okay? First and foremost, as men or as women, but specifically women, because we tend to nurture men right now, I'm speaking to you. I want to remind you guys, you're the prize. A lot of times when it comes to SPs or the attraction of one or trying to connect with one or whatever it is that we're trying to do in a loving relationship, we forget we're the prize. And I mean this sincerely. Regardless of whether you are masculine or feminine, if you know you're the kingdom of God, okay, then you are automatically lifted up. You're automatically the prize. Automatically. So in this particular case, why would we just kind of allow anyone to sit at our side? Or why would we treat that like it means nothing? Or why would we not understand how much value there is in divine love? Someone who's connected to divine love can make anything fall out of the sky, can make money appear in your account, can turn a man with a simple vision into a successful man, can turn children into anything. She adds value into everything that she does. Why would we not value that? So a lot of times, I think that's where this is coming from. Sometimes people ask me, how do you love yourself? The hell do you mean, how do you love yourself? That should be automatic. Shouldn't you value the fact that you're the light of the world? And this is regardless of who you are, masculine or feminine. Shouldn't you value that? Shouldn't the person who sits at your side be worthy of that? Right? So in elevating someone at this, if you decide this is who that is, and you want to give them that gift, and you want to value that, you need to remember first and foremost that your value starts here, and then we love this reflection like we love ourselves. But if we forget and we place the reflection first, regardless of whether you're male or female, you place the reflection first, what happens over time is this shadow is used to being fed your light, so much so it takes it for granted. All right? And now, whatever your shadow says, you're just kind of pulled along with it. And another thing is, you treat this person as if you can lose them. So your every conversation is a voice from fear. But you see how counterproductive that is? Because now, if you are coming from a place of fear because you're afraid that you're going to lose someone, that you're not going to impact their life in this way, you're not understanding your value. Now what's going to happen is the mirror is going to do you the extreme favor of showing you how you're behaving. So any fears that you have are going to be the following. They're going to lose interest. They're going to be looking around for other people. They're not going to call as often. They're going to be appearing bored or disinterested. They have no commitment, right? Why would I commit to something that doesn't realize its own value? If you want to meet God where it's at, then recognize your value. As soon as you do that and you place the person next to you at this value, you have already elevated this person higher than they could ever be. It will automatically want to meet its maker. Divine love in action. It's an automatic thing. But if you don't value this and you start putting all that, oh my God, what am I going to do if he's, behaving here or she's doing that or that kind of thing, then that's what we're animating. We're acting out of fear. That's what we're seeing. And then they do this great favor by showing us the consequence of our action, which is lack of love for self or hatred, fear. Same difference, lack of love. Because you're acting as if you can lose something. Your every conversation is about loss. It's even hidden and misunderstood. And so that's received and then fed back. Okay? So since this is a giving universe and this is a mirror, it must show you and give you what you gave it. So if you talk loss, if you feel fear, if you're talking about how they can't appreciate you, guess how they must behave? Exactly like you believe them to be. It's your mirror. There's only one source looking at itself from all angles. So when it comes to love, if you understand this, then you hold yourself in high value and you automatically place this person without even trying in high value. Automatically. Now, the person that held him in the highest light is the key that opens the door for you two to have the best life. Everything you've ever wanted. So who needs to remember who it is and who needs to remember to follow? Since there's only one thing, the light with the shadow, then the light must always lead with love. Because it's not about manipulation. It's not about treating someone badly. It's about recognizing God in action and acting from there. Because love is the thing that unlocks the door from which we can do anything we want in the moment. And I'm telling you, you can take a poor man off the street and make him rich. Or you can make food appear out of thin air. You're never without, ever. You don't even have to work for it. It's 98% here, 2% effort. You guys want to get to being on that side of the house. It's not supposed to be hard. It's not supposed to be something that is difficult at all. It's actually your natural state. It's the Tao. It's the Tao. It's the energy that's the truth of everything that you are. And by merging in it, you understand its value immediately. So let me explain what happens behind the veil when you do this. See, the minute you recognize your God, you turn on the universe within. Okay? Now this person in the relationship automatically gets turned on. The light is on. So as long as we remember to keep balance, miracles happen between you two. The world is a wonderful place. Whatever this person's ever wanted can happen now. Because it's one mind in love, the action of love. And that is the key to everything. There is nothing else, right? So in doing that, you start bridging the gap. And so what's true on a tiny molecular level, meaning what's true of two individuals, is also true of the entire universe. So you can make this as small or as big as you want. However, the larger you make it, the more available you are to recognize your value on Earth. To understand it means something, it's worth something. So then when you ask someone, how do I love myself? That's like an impossible question to even comprehend. How can you not love being everything? Have you not looked around and considered how beautiful everything in this planet is and how much it's worthy of your love, not your depreciation? Have you ever noticed how many beautiful, beautiful people exist in this world the minute you elevate them to God state? That's worth something. That is worth something, you guys. It's worth everything in the world. So as long as you understand that, see, now someone can be next to you and reap the benefits. They're never above you. They're never beneath you. It's never about that. It's about lifting people up. It's about recognizing yourself in the mirror and understanding how to balance this reflection until the two become one thing. And then they automatically reflect God in action all the time. And then you reap the benefits. Almost everybody is looking for this connection, right? Well, the only way that occurs is by making peace with yourself. Because remember, the other thing that's going to happen once you two are one thing is that you're going to heal together. Because this reflection is going to serve as a light because you've turned on the light, and you're going to serve as a light, and the two of you can see each other in reverse. So you can always know what you're thinking from the furthest angle of your point of understanding. Okay? Now, the reason this is so important is because you want to make sure that this reflection matches the original one, meaning your perception. Once this person starts animating like you believe them to be, you now have confirmation that you have arrived at your state. Okay? If you see the opposite, you are clearly animating the opposite. So the order of operations is this person right here, the one who has the eyes and has the ability to discern what it is seeing, must now change the recording and must now restore divine order into a relationship. You must accept what is in order to have it all. And we can't judge someone as negatively. But we also must have a balance and love ourselves. So if we're feeling neglected, it's because we're neglecting ourselves. So now this person has no choice but to neglect you, since this is the source of the image giving the order unconsciously, until it realizes that there is no one out there, that the only thing it's looking at is its mirror so it can see itself everywhere you go. You have to remember this. It's as if these two things right here are a projector, and every person you encounter now gets to show you who you are in the moment. And so then you realize how funny it is to have a body and how we're actually imaginary, or how much power you have because you're actually animating every single body at once. But you don't do so because you want to hurt them. You do so out of love because it's you. So you can't help but want to love, lift, and put people on a good place and a good pedestal, including and especially the person that you want to love you back. But remember, if you're doing it from a dual standpoint, you're going to struggle a lot with yourself unconsciously, not knowing what you're animating. Yes? However, if you do it from a all is one perspective, and you understand that everything is your mirror, you don't resent this person when they behave differently than what you want. You appreciate them because guess what they're showing you? Everything you don't want or everything you do want. So as soon as they show you what you do want, now you stay there in appreciation. You've achieved it. But if they show you what you don't want, you still appreciate it because you got to turn around, turn that perception back in now that they've shown you something you don't want, and you take the no thing and you make it a yes thing with your mind. Because the only place that we all exist is in our mind. The order is first here, then walk it on earth. That was the deal. Whether you judge it good or bad, you get to die there. You get to live there in that moment. That's what that means. So I want you guys to change the trajectory. When it comes to a love relationship, please remember, instead of saying that's the prize and chasing after that, which is what I hear almost every person do when they're after an SP. There's my prize. I got to go chase it. Do you remember what I said to you about the mirror? The universal mirror appearing backwards. So when you chase something, isn't it running in the opposite direction from you? Does that make sense in a loving relationship to do? Have you ever felt like you were that woman or that man that, well, men are supposed to kind of pursue, but let's just, that aside, I'm old fashioned, but have you ever felt as if you're chasing a guy rather than he's chasing you? It's out of order because your mirror is showing you what not to do by showing you what you're doing wrong, and that is forgetting who the prize is. So you have something of value. You have something of deep, deep value when you understand who you are. When you understand that you can command things and, COVID hits, no problem. Just protect all my family, turn a light on, all my people, and we're good. You protect. Nothing, there's no harm anywhere. There's no intention. You hold your people down. The rest of the world is falling apart. The economies are falling apart. Guess who's succeeding? Our tribe. Our tribe. Right? Because all of you guys are teaching your universes the same thing by spreading the word, or simply by teaching yourself. Now this becomes the dominant reflection, and now you guys start feeding your own universes, and you light up your family. You light up your universe. You protect it. So it's a point of power. It is something so, so divinely powerful. And yet it does not want to control. It does not want to own. It does not want to chase. It does not have any expectations. We don't do that here. That's not love. It's like we don't do that here. Not when it comes to love. See, if these are the things that you're doing, then you're doing it wrong, because that's not love. And so then you end up distorting the field, and you don't like the way the guy or the girl is going to behave because you're distorting the field. You're not being love. How can you receive love if you're not being love? So when it comes to relationships, when it comes to understanding it, remember, the male or the female, or the female and the female, the male and the male, I don't care. However, remember, the other person here is always animating your thoughts in the moment. And so then don't you owe it to yourself and your self-reflection to see them in the highest light? Don't you owe it to yourself to understand your worth, your value, understand what you can do, what you have to offer the world, and not put yourself down and make them the prize, and now you're insignificant? You consciously make yourself insignificant, and then you make them the prize, and then you expect them to want to follow. Do you see how you logically wouldn't do that? If you don't consider something a prize, why would I want it? There's no treasure there. It just blends in with the rest of the world. But if you understand the value that you have to offer a human being, when you understand that it automatically reflects back. They automatically treat you like a queen. There's no fights. There's no other woman in the world. There's no other man in the world. A man can do this with a woman and elevate her. Do you know why? Because that's what John was for me. The man is pure love energy. Pure love energy. So who woke up 7 years ago, 20 years ago, 12 years ago? I don't even know. Because of him. He's pure love. It was the only time where I was like, 360 degrees, recognize God in the moment. There I am. There I am. That's how I knew that man was it. Right? He turned me on. The light bulb. Okay? After that occurred, I now go around and I turn the light on in every human being I can possibly think of. And I remind people to be love. Because it's everything. It's everything. When a relationship starts to fall apart, it's because you're forgetting the order. This is exactly what we were told in the Bible. We were told, Mira, God first. So you first, because you're the source, you're the light of the world, and you're going to feed the shadow. So you first. And then we love what we see outside, like we love ourselves. Therefore, you never take advantage. You never want to harm. It's divine order. It's perfect harmony. So now you're standing in the middle of your reflection and you're receiving exactly what you gave it. It's a giving universe. It must give you back what you gave it. So always remember that. It's always going to do that. When you don't like what you see, you are the one holding yourself hostage to that. So remember these things. Remember your value. Remember what you bring to the table, because it is so true. Happy wife, happy life. Because your wife is your subconscious, and as women, or as feminine energy in general, we are responsible for 95% of the outer world with the subconscious. And we are the embodiment of that subconscious. So as women, we are Eve, the ideal made out of mankind. Earth, the whole body. So we have a responsibility to uphold Eden. Remember we are Eden, and remember to embody the God state as this divine feminine energy. But it's not just solely our responsibility. However, it works either way. If he remembers and he's like this, and he will turn on the feminine. But it must be in balance, and you must hold each other up to the highest light, because when you do, that's when God rains down blessings like never before. That's when the life of your dreams opens up. That's when it's like, it's not, you don't need anything ever, and you have it all. You have it all. It's a very wealthy vibration. I can't describe it any other way other than extreme wealth. So much wealth, you don't know what to do with it. You're almost like, oh my God, I'm getting, life is good. Feeling that you get, because now you have your superior man, the one you've carried in your heart your whole life, or your superior woman. You have your counterpart energy, regardless of bodies. And you now have God first, holding you two up, and now you have the universe between. And if you apply this, you awaken Christ consciousness. Once that's done, you're a miracle-making machine. Legitimately, you never fear a thing again. And that is a very valuable thing. And you keep upholding the light, and you keep upholding whatever it is that you're seeing outside. But remember the order of operations, because anytime you don't like what you see, if you are the boss, I hear this often, and I like this analogy, so I want to share it. Many times someone will say, what do I do with my sister-in-law? Or what do I do about my husband? Or what do I do about this? And you'll proceed to tell me how you see them. Okay? But I'm going to take you back just a little bit and have you think about that. How good does it feel when you animate things that you don't like? It doesn't feel good, right? So I want you to think about this. Have you felt the rejected-like feeling that you get when you animate things you don't like? Okay? Meaning that if you say this person isn't acting like you want, don't you feel bad immediately, or you get scared, or you get worried, or you fear, or whatever? But it's like, here's how you think the situation is, so this is shown to you. And then the space in between, since it's a mirror, it must give you the feedback. So you'll always know when you're doing something against your reflection because it feels horrible. You get to be right. It just feels horrible, right? Do you understand why? If there is only one soul, condemning your reflection will automatically get a "you suck, God" in the moment. And since you are God, you automatically feel it. Because your whole universal conception didn't like the way that you saw it, or individual, since it's always you. So what I'm asking you guys to do is understand we are all one. And if you understand how to work with non-duality, you get your God power activated automatically. And then you start acting with love and nothing but love, and everything falls out of the sky and everything's good. But if you don't understand that, think about that. You always get the feedback. It does not feel good. Every time you complain, it does not feel good. You feel miserable. You say, "Oh, I don't like this, and this, and this, and why can't this happen this way?" And la, 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 la. Okay, so as soon as you get that feedback, you feel miserable and you sink down into a depression. That's because the light just went down with its shadow. So it's really important for you guys to understand what is happening behind the veil, because I now see through walls. I don't know what happened. I guess I'm my father's daughter. I have no idea what's happened to me. All I know is I see through walls. I see through time and space. I can talk to people in my mind. They can talk to me. I can appear in their dreams. I don't have limitations like I used to have, because I understand the value in this. And what I'm saying is I'm not special, because everybody's like this. But if you're going to understand how it works and always be happy and at peace and understand, you must understand how to control the Tao. And that is how to control the light and the way it plays with the shadow, and understand how it works so that you always see yourself in the moment. I love you too. Sorry. So that you always see yourself in the moment. You always have to do this. I mean this so sincerely, because without this understanding, you only hurt yourself. A marriage can go downhill. Everyone is the one. It's God's will. If you're God, it's your choice. So you're the one choosing to bless someone. If you understand that's a blessing, then they understand you're a blessing, and now it's in balance. See, the love game isn't hard unless you treat it like it's an outside entity outside of you, not acting on your behalf and doing you favors so you can see what you're animating in the moment. It's very simple. It's a whole self. I recently had a conversation with a lot of you folks. I'm going to keep working on these concepts between light and shadow and understanding duality to transcend duality, because this is the answer that makes everything instant. Because you're no longer trying to convince an outside force. You know you are it. So there's no more needing to affirm this, that, and the third. You understand your power, and then your only problem is thinking too small, expecting too little, not thinking big enough. And believe me when I say that's a good problem to have, because there's so many more things when your spirit is in a good place. There's so many opportunities. There's so much love to be felt. It's an amazing place to exist. But first and foremost, know you're the prize as an individual. Because someone who knows that they're the prize will automatically turn on the prize in someone else. If you guys have noticed a difference in me, it's because of this. I understand the Bible, and I've always hated that book. So it took a God man to make a God woman. Since everything must be true, then a God woman can make a God man in their image and be a blessing. And if you don't understand that, then you're not using the Bible properly, because you're supposed to use it to create. So I would like to leave you guys with that. I would like to leave you with a few affirmations. One being, I am one with God, so I am one with my undivided love. So being the second one, I restore divine order to my home, to my relationships, to my love, to anything and everything appearing outside of me. Divine order. That's like saying, okay, not my fear, please be done, but your desire, God's will, be done. Step out of your own way. And when you do that, you have to understand the I, universal, but it's your will, your I, but you're the universe, okay? And then divine order is the law of the universe that's the only constant in a sea of illusions. So when you take that kind of mojo, you literally reset. And for those of you that have not seen instant God power in action, then it'll take you a little while to understand the power of what I just said. But if you apply it and you try it, you'll be surprised every single time how amazing this individual that's shadow or reflection will always be. So I want to just make sure you guys get that. Remember, who's the prize? Who's the prize? And yes, I'm a little old-fashioned. I expect men to court you. I expect that. I'm a queen. He's earning his place to sit beside me. It's a prize. I know I'm the kingdom of God. And it's no different if a man does this. I could be a man too, right? I'm always John. Okay, I could be a man too and have that same attitude and then automatically turn on the woman. So it doesn't matter which order, and if you both do it, how much quicker are you guys going to ascend to a place where both of you are Christed? So you can't lose. It doesn't matter which individual says it. Because you got to remember, the whole universe is your body, entire. And it works for what works for one relationship, works for all. You have to remember every single body outside of you appears as your living memories and thoughts on display so that no one ever dies. You will find your grandfather's memories, your son, your nephew, your brother, your best friend, all of these things will make this combination of things and make a new person. And someone who has spiritual sight can pick out every individual. And some of them can be dead and some of them can be existing now. But you remember, if all that we're seeing is the light reflecting back, those are our simultaneous bodies, but it's only your experience on display. So if it comes out of your eyes, it's your universe. It's your job. It's your love. But you are one with that. So judge or imagine wisely. If you don't like what you're seeing, it's because that's why you're standing there, to fix it. Animate it, expect more. But you always get what you expect, so lift people up. Because the only constant that's true is there's only God, or there's only love, there's only life. It's all the same word. So recognize your value. That's what I want to tell you. Recognize your value. And when it comes to SPs, the way to switch the trajectory, flip it on its axis. Trust me, the hottest thing a woman can do to a guy is turn the tables. It's the hottest thing in the world. Men enjoy this. Now their hunting nature gets turned on and they're like, wait, I'm so used to women doing whatever we want, whatever we say. Why is this one different? Ooh, let me go find out what she's about. And see, now you've engaged his heart in his hunt. And see, now he's going to work for his treasure. But you have to know you're the treasure so that he can know to hunt for the treasure. It's the same way. It's the same thing. It doesn't matter. You know, this energy, it doesn't matter whether it's masculine or feminine. I'm just old-fashioned. I just don't think that just anybody gets to sit here. That's it. It can't be just anybody. It has to be the person that I've chosen to elevate to God. So that's just not something that I give away like it doesn't mean anything. And that's what you guys have to understand. Especially because if you're pursuing, you're already looking outside for a love that only exists in here. And you were told not to do that. So those of you that are already in a relationship, that's cool. This means you've successfully loved yourself. You've successfully managed for him to match you. But if you want to really know peace and power and never have fights and never have arguments, and for the most part, 98% of the time live in perfect harmony, if not more, okay, without the occasional little whatever, but for the most part, harmony, it's because you are in harmony. So this reflection must be in harmony. But if you're chasing, they're going this way. So turn it back on its axis. You're the prize. And this is how it works. It works every time. And correct me if I'm wrong, ladies, but sorry, guys, I'm going to totally destroy you guys. I don't mean this that way. Sorry. All right. Correct me if I'm wrong, ladies. But if you're on an SP journey, it's the one that got away, or the one that you finally decided isn't going to be this way, that has you obsessed, that has you going frantic, that has you going, wait, that's the guy, that's the one, right? That something turned you in that way, right? Okay, that frenzy, flip it, project it out. It's automatic. It's automatic. It's almost like a spell you put on a guy. I mean this sincerely. I'm being funny, but I'm being serious too, because it's like if you're not putting off a needy vibe, now he's automatically interested. He's automatically interested, right? So then you're emitting a happy, peaceful, joyful, loving energy that doesn't need anything. Even more exciting. What's this about? Do you see? And so it's always in balance, but you have to be the best light to have the best light given back to you. That's it. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. I don't want to spend too long, because everybody's video and all of these contributions and what everybody's saying, I love it because it's exactly what I mean. But in this case, when it comes to an SP, if you're going to make it easy, you got to turn that perspective around, because if you're the prize, that is the image you want to project into this mirror so that the mirror knows you're the prize. That's not what we do in relationships. We make them the prize. So now you're not, and he is. So why should this mirror be interested in you? You're not. You said he is. So now he's going to go off with whoever or do whatever. Or do you see how this is not working? And you could be married and think someone's the prize, and then what happens? Who gets taken for granted, neglected, starts to like feel the pressure, feel like you're trying to hold up a man, and not and over time you feel resentment, man or woman, it doesn't matter. But the relationship feels unbalanced, in which this person feels like it's doing more than this person who seems totally disinterested, or that has no problem fighting or arguing or showing you what's in your head. So if you're going to really go for balance, you got to be love, a perfect love, to get a perfect love. Order of operations. Yes? All right? That's it. I don't want to take too long. I just wanted to say that, because it's the easiest thing. Like, I don't know. Like, it's what my mama taught me. And I've never thought about it, but that's what my mom taught me. This is how it's always been. It's like all I know. And so when people ask me, how do you get a guy or a girl, or how do you get their attention, or that kind of stuff, I don't know. I've never thought about it. It just happens in a good way, you know. But it's because your spirit is so pure. And it emits a frequency that's beautiful, that attracts everything to it, you know? And it's so pure because you're fully in love with yourself, so you're going to treat everyone like yourself too. So you're going to try and do your best to lift them up to the highest light anyway. That's how you live. And you don't distort the field. Okay? I will talk to you guys more about 3D and how to distort the field and how fear does this and the projector and the lights and the shadows very soon. But this is just that quick thing. Remember, the way you turn it on its axis, real simple. You just got to know you're the prize. Now someone knows you're the prize. It's very simple. Easy. Yes? All right, you guys. I love you. Bye-bye.